What's going on, everyone? Matt, Leighton, Shawn Battle. Welcome back to another real estate video, guys. Today, we've had a significant change to our MLS system, the Bright MLS system. And this is going to affect buyers, it's going to affect sellers, and judging from my Facebook feed, it's going to affect some real estate agents. So in this video, we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, if we are for or if we are against the brand new drastic MLS changes. Shawn, how's it going?
Good, Matt. We just had a listing come on this morning in Lake Barcroft. Awesome single family listing. And you know what I did?
What?
I put a sign up like a week ago, for sale. Started marketing that thing like 3 weeks ago. Didn't have coming soon. Didn't have the, anything. I'm just joking.
Bright MLS.
Bright MLS
there. The chat.
Yeah. So no, I put the sign up the other day. I wonder, we'll get into this, but anyways, it's a gorgeous place. $925,000, lake access, awesome stuff.
Cool. So the Bright MLS change, what is it? So basically, they are changing the way that the Coming Soon properties work. So Coming Soon works in 3 different facets. Number one, you have like these office exclusive, private, they have some hoity-toity term for it. Basically, think if you were selling like JFK's house and you just told your office about it, and no one else, it's not on the MLS, it's just like an office exclusive, that's staying the same. The second part is just the regular Coming Soon on Bright MLS, where you can enter the property into the Coming Soon system, and it'll be on Coming Soon for 21 days. You can't show the property because if it's Coming Soon, it's not active, and you can't show a Coming Soon property. And then the third way you can do a Coming Soon property is just to market the property before it's active. And so what Bright is changing is that if you market the property, you put the property on the market a day after you market it. So if I send out a Facebook post, if I send out a blast email list to all of my buyers, I need to be sure to put the property on the market a day later. And that part, I think, is causing a little bit of a stir. So, Shawn, what's your initial reaction on this?
Man, my initial reaction was, holy cow, like they just threw this on us very quickly. I mean, all of a sudden we get this email with this video and it says, hey, you're no longer going to do this and we're going to fine you $5,000 if you do. I thought it was a little harsh. They could have maybe talked about it a little more, maybe give some feed in for a little bit less of a drastic change that quickly, right? Get some feedback from us. But, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, well, when I send out my e-blasts, I have a lot of Coming Soon stuff on the bottom of these e-blasts. So, all right, now we're gonna have to change how we do that. Unless we have it Coming Soon on the MLS already.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So basically, how this is going to affect me and us is we send out blasts when we have a new property that is for sale. But underneath that, we have these ones coming soon. Now, and if we don't have it on the MLS, we can't do that anymore, which in my opinion is kind of crappy.
You think it's bad?
In that regard, but will it affect me that much? No. I don't think
so Shawn and I, we put our Coming Soons at the bottom of our email. So if you've read our entire email, which, by the way, I think my emails are straight fire. I think I have the best emails in the game. But
sign up.
But we put it at the bottom of our little email newsletter. Some agents, it's their entire business plan. Some people are like, well, I built my business on Coming Soon, so what am I supposed to do? And some brokerages, it's the entire reason, it's their entire sales pitch. Hey, we have 20% of the houses that aren't on the MLS or on, our portal. You need to use us. So I think there's going to be some issues there when it comes to those brokers.
Huge issues, because that is their main selling point in gaining agents, and how they are able to pull different big teams over is because they have this Coming Soon status where they're showing, hey, look what we can sell your house before it ever hits the market with our big group of agents that we have. Personally, I've never been a fan of that because, in my opinion, my goal is always to sell every house for the highest price that I can. The way I'm going to sell it for the highest price that I can is on the MLS. And I'm going to wait, and I'm not going to take the first offer, and I'm going to wait through a weekend, and I'm going to say offers are due here, right? That's the way I do business.
Right.
I'm working for the seller, and I'm trying to get the highest price.
Right.
I'm not trying to sell it the quickest, and I'm not trying to get both ends. But there are agencies out there on that's exactly what they don't do. They are out there to sell it the quickest and say, hey, look what we did. We're here, and we can sell it without even going on the MLS. Is that doing a favor to your seller?
Yeah. Well, what about those sellers that are like, you know what, the MLS, this it's just too much for me. I don't want to, put myself out there like that. I want you to market it, and we'll go on in like 6 months or so if we still can't sell it.
I agree with that side of it too, because can't be a cut and dry, like you have to do it this way or you do it this way, because there are so many different buyers and sellers out there, right? And there's sellers that just don't want, they know that they're going to be selling in 6 months. They want you to start churning things. I don't think it's fair to that particular seller. However, if they expand some of the things that they're talking about, like the coming soon status, right now, the coming soon status, once you put it on, you have to go live within 3 weeks, 21 days. So if somebody's 6 months out, then there's nothing you can do about that. But if they expand that and they go 6 months or something like that, then that'll kind of take care of those particular people.
And I think they're open to expanding. I think they're open to feedback. What's discouraging, what's disappointing is you already mentioned it was kind of just put on us, and it's like, by the way, this is now completely changed, and you have no say in it. They said they've talked to brokers, they talked to agents. It's the first time we've literally ever heard about it.
We didn't hear about it until it hit our email box.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it's like, you have to change now. And by the way, and there's a leeway period, but they're gonna dock us pretty good if we break the rules.
And agents are saying, well, you're not going to dictate how my seller is going to sell the property. Well, guess what? They're already dictating that. You can only put in so many pictures. You can only put in so much description. There are rules. This isn't NAM. This is bowling. There are rules. The MLS is already dictating it. And if you don't want to play, then don't put your property on the MLS. Now, am I in favor of every single change that has happened? Obviously not. I think it's extremely too strict right now. But when I hear agents say, well, you're not going to dictate, you don't know the best ways to sell my seller's property. Well, they've already constrained you to these amounts, and then they're just adding one more thing into it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's rule followers and there's people that bend the lines, right?
Yeah.
And those people that bend the lines are naturally going to be mad because they're bending the rules. They're trying to get these pocket listings and trying to pull leads off of this and, get capture when really what they should be doing is representing the seller and trying to get the highest price.
Yeah.
When you're representing the seller, you should be representing the seller and getting them the best deal that you can. And that's really what selling a property is about. It's not about capturing the leads, even though, that's a big model of it. But you have to be careful. And I've always been a rule follower, right? And so it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm just going to have to change a few things that I do. And I'll just get the coming soon signed right away, right? I'm going to do the coming soon, and I'm going to do it for 21 days. I'll put it on the MLS, and then I'll start marketing like crazy.
Yeah, because right now, what do you do for coming soon properties for your buyers? You have your email list, but if you want to see coming soon properties online, you know where you got to go? You got to go to Bright MLS, and then you got to load up another tab and go to Zillow. And then you got to load up another tab and go to Compass. And then you got to load up another tab and go to Redfin. And all four of these websites have different properties that aren't on the other websites. How are 4 MLSs better than 1 MLS? And people are like, well, Bright MLS is a monopoly. Yeah, you're damn right they're a monopoly, but they also have customers. And although they have made some very interesting choices, I ultimately think that they're going to respond to feedback. And if the feedback is the 21 days things is unnecessary. You got to, bump it up to 60 days. Or what do I do for new construction properties? You got to bump it up for 6 months. I think there's going to be an adjustment period here, but do we really want like 4 MLSs? I don't think we do. So, at the end of the day, I think this is going to benefit buyers in the future.
I definitely think it's going to benefit buyers and sellers in the future, because what a lot of sellers don't realize is if they sign a listing agreement and you're going on this, particular website for a small group of people and they say, hey, we got you an offer, they have no idea what they could have gotten on the MLS, especially right now. It's ridiculously hot. And, for instance, I just sold a property yesterday under contract. I never expected 6 offers, but that's what I got. 6 offers way above asking. And had I just said, oh, well, I'm going to sell it to the first person that comes my way, I would have sold it for list price and I would have lost a lot of money for my sellers. So that's the difference.
Have you ever had a seller where price is not the top priority?
Unfortunately, I'm not, I don't list a ton of those $5 million places. So no, I mean,
You've never had a seller that values convenience and time over price.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, I'm always the person that is fighting for price. That's just my mentality.
Well, you're fighting for what your clients want. And if your clients care more about convenience and time.
I say it's a lot more rare than the person that's going after the highest price. But they definitely have had them. But I think the majority are after the highest price.
Yeah, and
but
I think
sure. I mean, like there's definitely you have the relocation people, you have the people that just want out, and there's been plenty of times where I sell something and people are like, wow, that seems a little low, and I'm like, well, I'm representing my client, right? This is what they wanted. Yeah. They didn't care. You're right. They didn't care about the money. They wanted out.
At some point, they're just like, we'll take it. Sure. And those brokerages that are doing the coming soons, their mindset or the move there is like, okay, we'll put it on Zillow coming soon for $500,000 for 2 months. And then if we don't get $500,000, which by the way, they would double end that deal, we'll put it on the MLS for like $475, right? That's my thought. That's an opinion. But I think what this is also going to get rid of is, to a lesser extent, the double ending of deals. Ultimately, I'm all about transparency, and I feel like this will make things more transparent. But there's also a dichotomy there, because you want to be able to show your buyer everything on the market. But what we need to remember is that the buyers aren't the only consumers of this. It's also the sellers. All these subscribers, all these agents that subscribe to Bright MLS, they're also representing sellers. So what is the seller's best interest? That's kind of a more difficult road to navigate. You would like to assume that the seller's best interest is to have the property available to the most amount of people. Now, that's also an assumption. So I understand there are these, diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack scenarios where, oh, well, my client got divorced and she has 7 cats and she only goes outside when it's sunny and Tuesdays and she can only allow showings at 3:59. What do I do in that scenario? Well, I get a waiver. I don't know if I have an answer for that question.
That's it. There's so many different sellers. I would say 85% are going to be in the realm of, hey, they want the property on as quickly as possible and they want to sell for the highest price, right? And that's usually the listings I'm signing. Unfortunately, they're always like, oh, when do you want it on? Next week.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. So there isn't really that time to ramp it up. Everyone, and then there was the 15% that are like, oh, I want to sell in a while. And, like the property that went on today, I've had that listing agreement signed for 3 months. But I told people I didn't market it in any way, but now I'd be fined if I did. So got to watch yourself.
Yeah, you got to watch yourself. I think the $5,000 fine if you do some marketing before you put it on, that's like one agent snitching on another. So we'll have to see what ends up happening there. Yeah. But I would like to see a few changes to this. First of all, number one, coming soon longer than 21
Definitely.
days. People plan 6 months in advance to sell their properties. Other times it's 6 hours in advance.
Yep. We see it all.
Yeah,
and that's I know that they're going to be open to that, especially if they get some pressure. They're definitely going to increase that thing. And if you watched the webinar the other day, they were talking about, that's a possible increase. So I'm hoping that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a significant change, and with any significant change, especially to realtors who always have their guard up, people are going to be upset, and I think there's going to be a feeling out period. But at the end of the day, the last point we'll make is, Bright's only doing this because they're scared and, it's a business move. Well, yeah, it kind of is, but what is Bright's role? Why are they in business? Well, I think they're an MLS and I think they cover this area. That's why they're in business, right? So they're in business to have all the listings on one side. And if you want to be a member, you can subscribe. And if you don't want to be a member, you don't have to come to the party. So,
and the thing is, Bright made this change, but what we didn't realize is that NVAR, Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors have been talking about this for a long time.
Right.
And their whole goal is consumer-based, right? They're protecting the consumer from us, from the realtors that are snakes, or not necessarily snakes, but doing things a little bit differently, that are trying to take advantage of people. Or, so their whole goal was to protect the consumer. And I see where they're going, but a little bit of an advance warning would have been nice.
Yeah. I think NAR has like 3 class action lawsuits going on right now. If you watch the webinars, so the guy said that like the first words out of his mouth were like pro competition and like the antitrust. So cool, guys. I know there's going to be a lot of comments and a lot of feedback on this. So would love to know your thoughts, comments, and opinions on this. Be sure to drop a comment below. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. For Shawn and for myself, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Take care.